I appreciate the opportunity to be here again, and thank you to all that have come and taken the time out of their busy schedules to be here for a very important reason, and that is to educate people as to the fact that women and children need to be stood up for. That should be a given. You should assume that that is something that would be normal and be assumed. But the problem is too many times violence in our communities are against our women and children. So we need to continue to carry the message. And I appreciate the opportunity to be here to talk a little bit about a few of the legislative initiatives that we have. I know Representative Mert has done a yeoman's job in getting many of the legislative priorities across, dealing with genital mutilation. I know he will be talking about that. We've also sent a Senate bill to the Senate, or a House bill to the Senate, that would treat strangulation as a major offense to help protect those of domestic violence. We made a step in the right direction before with former Representative Corbin. She had started down that road. It was a great start. This bill will continue to tee that issue up and make sure that people are aware how prevalent strangulation is in our domestic violence situations. The ability for Jesse Topper, Representative Topper, and Representative Warren are leading the efforts to prohibit child marriage and make child marriage something that is not here in Pennsylvania. We don't want our 14-year-olds married. We don't want our 15-year-olds married. We want adults to marry and make the decisions that need to be made. The ability for us to make those decisions and take them and make an adult decision by an adult and not have the situation that leads to domestic violence, mental health issues, and abuse. Early marriages are linked to a number of negative effects, including health, education, and mental health. Another issue that is also behind closed doors, and many of these issues unfortunately are dealing with domestic violence, is sex trafficking. The ability to say that we live in a commonwealth is a wonderful thing, but the other issue that comes along with it is Pennsylvania is one of the most highly traveled interstates and statewide traffic. That opens up so many opportunities for predators. That opens up the opportunity they can pass through our state and they can traffic individuals and they can take them and get them out of this state quickly. We need to be stronger in sex trafficking. We need to make sure that we hold those that are accountable, not the victims of sex trafficking, the offenders of sex trafficking. The ability for us, and I'm proud in Lemoyne, she's somebody's daughter, is somebody that works very heavily in dealing with the issue of sex trafficking. Also working with people, having relationships with people that are in the sexual, where there might be sexual predators, educating people, telling them of resources, letting them know they have people that will stand behind them. These are issues that we need our victims to be aware of. We need them to know that they have somebody to turn to. They are not alone. Many times when we deal with domestic violence, we deal with the issue of control. Violence, no one should have anything against them, man or woman. But when we talk about women, we talk about domestic violence, it's control. When we talk about someone being raped, it's control. It is one person's control over another person. It is not one person dressing inappropriately, asking for it. They deserve it. They shouldn't have done X, Y, and Z. No means no. Control should be the victim's ability to not be a victim. The ability for someone to say no and it means no is important. We need to educate our young people. We need to educate our high schoolers, men and women, how to respect women. Women deserve respect. They deserve that ability to just have, men and women deserve respect. But when it comes to a situation of violence, and it is the woman that is the victim, they should be able to understand that once they have become that victim, that they have resources, they have the ability to ask for help, and they have people like everyone here today that will stand up for them. I've been very proud to be able to be part of many organizations here in central Pennsylvania with the YWCA and DVSCP who stand up for victims, rape victims, domestic violence victims. We have our state organizations, our PCARs, the Pennsylvania Coalition Against Rape, the Pennsylvania Domestic Violence Bottom line, they are willing to fight for public policy. We want to make public policy changes that fights for women and children and victims. I've been very, very outspoken about my desire to make sure that the victim's voice is never lost, not only in our state laws, but in our Constitution with Marsy's Law. We need to make sure that our state recognizes that the victim's voice should not be lost in our justice system, period, man or woman. Thank you. The ability for us to turn that around and make sure that on a daily basis the public policy makers take into consideration where does the victim stand in this, I think should be a question that we ask on a regular basis, not just when it's convenient. So I appreciate the opportunity to be here. I will continue to fight for the voice of victims in not only our state laws, but in our Constitution, and then hopefully we will continue down the path where many times, hopefully at some point, maybe we don't have to have a press conference to say that the rights of women and children, that they should not be violated and violence should not occur. Because I think there never will be that time, unfortunately, but we can keep hoping for it, and we can keep having these education moments where we say, pay attention, ask the question. If you see someone that looks hurt, if you see someone that has bruises, if you see someone that is not being themselves and isolating themselves, ask the question. They're going to be mad at you, and they're going to say, that's not happening to me. I won't be a victim. It happens to other people. Ask the question. Be up front and say, I'm just concerned about you. I want to be there for you. Make sure you're there for those that you are concerned about, and don't let them isolate themselves, because that means that the offender wins. So thank you for being here. Thank you for fighting for the rights of women and children, and we will continue to hopefully fight together and have a message out there that there are people that will stand against violence for women and children. Thank you very much.